talking about Airbnb liability, what you need to worry about, what you need to make sure you are covered with, um, hot tub pros and cons, and then the spectrum loophole. This is actually something that I found out yesterday, I believe. And you, man, I'm gonna hold my tongue on spectrum. So we got a little tropical mango here. Drop your comments, questions, Airbnb host questions. Please hold all the dog questions until after. I just got a little puppy, and he probably will start whining at some point. He is in his cage right now, so I could do this. But appreciate everybody for jumping on. Once again, drop your questions down below. Today we are going to be talking about, honestly, it's three wide topics, but three topics that actually came up this week, and I wanted to share with you guys here, just because you guys are getting the inside scoop on what I know. And as I'm learning, I'm spreading the knowledge, spreading the wealth, spreading the love. I wish I had somebody like me when I first started. Once again, we do Q&A every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern, every office hours, every Friday at 1 o'clock. That's more of kind of like an advanced training, kind of high level, a little bit more experienced stuff. This is more kind of entry level and kind of the beginner host. So without further ado, let's get rocking and roll. We got 2, 3, 4 people online. What's up? Drop your questions down below. All right. Airbnb liability insurance, numero uno. I'm talking to you. I'm going to share just because I've got some notes here on, let me just make sure we got the right window. All right, there we go. Hopefully everybody can see this. Okay, yep, a little bit bigger. All right, Airbnb liability insurance. So what that means is, I can't spell. These are probably spelled wrong. I apologize, guys. I was not great at English. I was math and science all the way. So Airbnb liability insurance, that is essentially, Airbnb has a liability insurance protection in their, what they call host protection, air cover. It's like up to $1 million. And liability is just like, if somebody slips and falls on your property that you're hosting at or arbitraging at or co-hosting at, wherever it is, Airbnb pitches it to where they have you covered, right? They have the host covered. From a hosting perspective and a real estate perspective, we want to make sure we're hedging and making sure we're not getting sued, really. That's the biggest thing, is protecting our assets. Once we kind of get the ball rolling and start making some money, one liability insurance claim could potentially wipe out everything. So we want to make sure we're absolutely covered. So Airbnb liability cover, we actually had one. It's probably been a couple years now, a slip and fall at one of our properties. And the guest, it was a guest actually broke their ankle. So it was not anything like major or life threatening or anything, but like, serious damage. So definitely not something to be taken lightly, but kind of this was in one of the groups that I'm a part of. And the host was asking, like, what's the process look like from start to finish? What's the process look like from something happening to like the final finish line? There was like 2 or 3 weeks where the host had no response from Airbnb, which honestly, I'm not surprised knowing what I know, but I wanted to share kind of our direct experience and hopefully kind of spread the love. So for us, the timeline was about 3 months after this claim happened. It was about 3 months later, that's when an Airbnb adjuster that they contract through an insurance guy actually came out to the property to inspect what happened. They want to inspect what work we had done. They were asked for invoices, contractors, who worked on this thing, just to make sure that we were like super, super buttoned up. So luckily for us, we use contractors with insurance. Like, there is some liability things that we put in place, like definitely like an LLC, not just like a mom and pop. So Making sure they're verified and insured. Um, that is, I can actually add company ideally here, and I can give away these notes if you guys want them. Just let me know. All right, we got a couple questions. I'll answer those shortly. But making sure you know uh, covered and insured. Like that's the big thing. Making sure you're vetting your contractors, not just using some Joe Blow. So after 3 months, the adjuster actually came out and viewed the property, making sure everything was good to go. And then what happened in between that time, we had no idea. Like Airbnb was like, "Oh, we're working on it." The guest was like, "Hey, I got a broken ankle here. Like, what are you guys gonna do?" So it put us in a really bad spot. It put host in a really bad spot because these things do take a while. I think they can get to them a little bit quicker. In my personal opinion, I think 3 months is just not acceptable. But so 3 months, adjuster actually came out. That was like the first step in anything. The guest had to cover their medical bills. They had to get everything fixed, obviously, and we were just kind of in limbo. The guest was in limbo, and we were just kind of waiting on Airbnb. 3 months after that, so 6 months from the event, we were told by, I can't remember if the guest told us or if Airbnb specifically told us, but apparently Airbnb covered their medical bills, everything lined up. We were not at fault. It's a liability air cover kind of made all that happen. The funny part is after this, a year later, so we got an email 1 year later saying like, "Hey, this case is reopened and we're investigating everything again." This was so 3 months after that, so 6 months total. Then a year later, it's been a year and a half since we've had that incident, and then we had case closed, like we were all good, like insured, like we're no problem. Guest was happy, host was happy, Airbnb obviously wasn't happy, so they wanted to reopen the case. So that was a year after all that. So right now we are still waiting to hear back. Everything has been like paid and closed on our end. We submitted everything. Our contractors are all good. But that was my one experience. Knock on wood. Hopefully that never happens again. But if you have enough reservations, like it's going to happen. I don't know. I mean, a couple probably 10,000 stays right now, probably hundreds of thousands of guests have been in and out. Like it's a matter of time of when this is going to happen. Hopefully it doesn't happen. But by the way, this is non-alcoholic. If anybody's wondering, this is a nah. It's just a flavored topo. Probably looks like a alcoholic, but it is not. Edith, what is up? Hello, Lyle. What is going on? Look at it. Got some love. Jashan. Hopefully I said that right. Please don't kill me if I incorrectly pronounce your name. Appreciate the love. If you guys are not in our, I've got a free community. I'll put it down below. I'll put the link down below. Join that. If you're a host and wanting a ton of free info, I put a ton in there. I could have charged thousands of dollars for it, but I wanted to give it to you for free. So if you have questions, drop them down below. Happy to answer your questions on the fly. So if you have anything about Airbnb liability insurance, that's all that I have on this story. Just making sure you're buttoned up, making sure everything is good to go. It's easy to go with the cheap contractor, but long term, probably not the best way to kind of build your business. Topic number 2, hot tub pros and cons, and then 3, we're going to get into what I have deemed called the spectrum loophole. Something very interesting I learned about spectrum, and it is not good news for host. Stay tuned for that. Hot tub pros and cons. All right, so if anybody knows, if you guys have been following me for a while, I love hot tubs. I freaking love them. One thing I say is like, if you can add hot tubs, you're going to add like 7 to 10 grand worth of revenue in year one. Obviously, there's some cons to it, but high level pros and cons. I'm just going to go through them. And I recently did a lot of work to my hot tub at my Airbnb, and I'm going to kind of show you some pros and cons on that. So, all right. Obviously, the biggest thing is it worth it? right? Is hot tub completely worth it? My answer is yes. I think the hassle is worth the upside. So I've kind of deemed it anywhere from 7 to 10 grand. There are some markets like the Poconos, like Asheville, like um some like let's say Buffalo, like some of these more colder weather markets. Charlotte is, if you guys don't know, I live in Charlotte. Most of all of our properties are in Charlotte. We've got like the 35, 40 here, and then we do some consulting on different markets, multiple markets. But some markets require this. In Charlotte, that is not one that requires it. Charlotte specifically is urban market, um, and most urban markets do not require it. It's just if you want to be unique, I always say like just buy the properties that are unique out of the box, add the amenities that are unique, and then you will hedge your bets and you will make more money in the short term tremendously quicker. And like for example, I always say buy a 4 bedroom because the level of inventory is like 10 to 15% of the overall Airbnbs are, 4 plus beds. 3 bedrooms, there's like 50%. So why would you go and compete with 50% of the market when you can just spend a little bit more, get that 4 bedroom, and then go compete with only 10% of the market? So hot tub is just another amenity. I always think like, um, God, I said this on another live maybe last week, is you don't have to be, God, what was it? It was something like just the McDonald's Burger King situation, right? Burger King doesn't do, they don't spend millions of dollars in doing all this research. They just look at McDonald's and be like, oh, okay, McDonald's spent millions of dollars to put their hamburger shop on this corner. We're just going to get the corner right beside it, and that's it. Like you can do the same thing with Airbnbs. If an Airbnb is, let's say a 5 bedroom Airbnb, it's got a hot tub, a pool, a golf simulator, a game room, great design, great amenities, like, and it does, let's say 200 grand a year, right? If it does that, like, you don't really need to rethink it. If you can just do 95% of what they're doing, the McDonald's over here that is successful, you can just be the Burger King and be like, oh, okay, 90%. Like I can do 175 here, 175 grand a year. Like I would take that all day. So, um, adding the overall revenue, obviously that's why people are looking at adding amenities. Now it's not all sunshine and rainbows. I do not want to lie to you because you came here to find the truth. I am going to give it to you. Not all sunshine and rainbows. You do have higher utility cost, which probably should have wrote higher utilities. So it takes power to heat the hot tub up, keeping it 104 degrees year round, obviously higher utilities. Now, one thing to kind of hedge that is I recently upgraded my hot tub. So there's probably more. I'm kind of learning on the fly to be very frank with you. The hot tub that I bought it with the house. It was 120 volts. Don't ask me, I'm not an electrician, but that's just like a normal kind of basic plug-in. It's a beefed up plug-in, but it's a normal kind of traditional plug-in. There is an upgraded version. I think it's a 240 volts. It's like double the amount of power, so it heats the hot tub up quicker and also saves more energy. So it's a win-win. So, and I think some pretty cool stats here. I didn't know this till recently. Was only 120 volt. So this takes an electrician, obviously. Make sure you go through your electrician. It'll probably be anywhere from 1,000 to 2,500, depending on your market, how good you are with the electrician. But I think it is 100% worth it. Worth it. I'll share these notes if you guys want them. Just shoot me a DM on Instagram. All right. So the 240 volt heats up quicker and more efficient. So the next question is like, how much quicker? If you guys are kind of cheating a little bit here, stop looking ahead. Stop flipping the chapters. Like follow the professor here. All right. 120 volt is about 1 to 2 degrees per hour. So if you need to go from 90 to 102 degrees, that'll roughly take you 6 to 12 hours, which is a long time, right? Once I upgraded to a 240 volt, this went from 1 to 2 degrees an hour to 5 to 6 degrees an hour. So that thing that that I had to wait 12 hours to heat up 12 degrees, I can do it in 2 hours. I don't know what that math is, maybe a sixth of the time. So when guests, so this is the scenario. I had a guest that was an absolute nightmare, gave me a 2-star review because their kids turned down the hot tub to 80 degrees. It was at 104. I personally checked it before I went. It was a very big reservation for me and one of my first ones. I wanted to make sure everything in the freaking place was spotless. Everything was good to go. Day later, they were like, "Hey, the hot tub's not heating up." Sent the hot tub guy out. I actually went out as well. I was like, "It's set to 80 degrees. Like, of course it's not heating up. You set it. It was set at 102 yesterday. I have photo evidence. Now it's at 80 degrees." And at that point, I'm having to go up 24 degrees. Like, it's going to take days. It's going to take, probably a day minimum to get back to 104 of where it was at. So if I would have had this 240 volt, this upgraded hot tub, I could have probably saved that bad review, saved a refund, and kept a happy guest. So instead of waiting a day or two to get that hot tub back to where it was, I could have waited a couple hours. I'd be like, okay, great. Like, I'll pay for your dinner. Sorry about that. Once you get home tonight, should be back up to where it was yesterday. So this is kind of what I've learned with hot tubs. Once again, I'm still learning about this stuff. I am not an expert here. We manage, I think, three or four hot tubs. I've got a co-host and client in the Poconos that has 4 or 5, and man, there's just so much to learn. But hopefully, a little bit of this, I've learned a ton. I've done a ton of research, talked to a lot of people. But hopefully, this was helpful here. So I'm going to jump to number 3. Austin, you are the man. If you guys haven't checked out Co-host Bros podcast, I was on, what episode was that, Austin? Maybe like 45, 48, somewhere in there. Go listen to it. I dropped some gems there. Austin, appreciate you. All right. So there is something I learned this week that was kind of blew my mind, to be very honest with you. I'm calling it the Spectrum loophole. Once again, this is non-alcoholic. Chill out, team. Chill out. Spectrum loophole. What I mean by that is I found out, so I had an issue. I was looking through our utilities. This is actually at my property as well. I'm using this property as good training, but as kind of my guinea pig. So the problem is with Spectrum, all I had was internet. So at my property, paid for Spectrum internet, like $70 a month, whatever, to get like a gig, plenty of speed across the entire house. Had like Wi-Fi extenders, all the stuff. But that's not the problem. So I start checking my bill, and I had Spectrum TV added to my account. I was like, oh, that's weird. I only set up Spectrum internet. I was like, this has got to be, fraud or something happened. Like, I don't know how this was added to my account. I didn't add it. None of my team members, I checked with them, our onboarding girl, like our guest comms team, like nobody added it. And it's been on my account. I'm like, call Spectrum. I'm like, hey, I don't know what is going on. Like, I don't want Spectrum TV. Like, I need it off my account and I need a refund. But first, can you tell me how this got added to my account when I or nobody on my team added this to our account? So there is, and the weird thing is, this was added via a Roku TV. So I freaking love Roku's, the best on the market, the most durable, the best user friendly. It replaces your TV remote, so you're not having to play remote tag, like, oh, volume here, channel here, HDMI. It's just it's simple. I love simple. So there's a thing in Roku, and this might be a little too big, but pin parental. Oh gosh, of course. Let me log back in. There is pin parental. course, it's asking me to verify again. Give me 2 seconds, team. Code 204. See, this is a great example of I like the two-step verification because you need to go back in and verify. With Spectrum, you do not need to do that. Spoiler alert. Anyone connected to the internet can add to your account. So in Roku, in the pin parental settings, Roku did this freaking great, amazing thing that allows hosts to allow guests to download free apps, but as soon as they try to buy something, it has them require this 4-digit pin. I'm like, freaking, as soon as I found on this, I was like, we're doing Roku on every property, and we have. So Roku is not the problem here. Spectrum is the problem because, all right, here's the loophole, and stick with me. This might get a little techie. So Roku has a parental where you can download the free apps. So this one right here is this is the setting that every host should do. Hopefully it's not too small on this screen. You can when adding. Okay, you require a PIN when you subscribe, rent, or buy shows and movies, which is great. I don't want my guests buying movies on my tab, so they can download free apps with this setting though, which is great. It's the best of both worlds. If I click this one, they can download free apps. They cannot download free apps or buy anything, which I also don't want that because I want them the ability to add whatever apps they want, kid apps, like whatever. I just don't want them to buy stuff. So this is the setting that is correct. And I've verified every single TV has this setting. Spectrum, as soon as you connect to the internet, you can add whatever you want to that Spectrum account. As long as the TV is connected to the internet, which of course it would be, any guest can add Spectrum TV or buy movies through the Spectrum app. It's only through the Spectrum app. Spectrum is just like this shiny, special, like they think they're a unicorn. I do not like Spectrum, if you couldn't tell. Never go with Spectrum in your properties. If you can go AT&T, go AT&T. Or Google, T-Mobile, Verizon, somebody else. Spectrum is the absolute worst. So first step, set up the Roku pin. I thought that would fix it. Turns out it won't fix it. So as soon as they have access to the internet, it automatically logs them into your Spectrum account. They can do whatever they want. So solution, go to AT&T. Oh gosh, I've spent way too much time and effort talking to, it took me, just give you an, it took me 5 Spectrum reps to get this answer. The first 4 people, no idea, never seen it, useless. The 5th person was finally like, hey, this is exactly what's going on. I've seen it, don't agree with it, but this is what's going on. So I call it the Spectrum loophole. Hopefully you don't have Spectrum. If you do, please transfer. You will not be disappointed. But if nobody has any other questions, thank you for joining another STR Q&A. Once again, Wednesday at 6 o'clock. Join my free community if you want to make more money and be a better host. All right, peace. Love y'all.